Another 4th of July celebration has passed, and it's past time for us to put to death the persistent Second Amendment was meant for muskets myth once and for all. 61% of U.S. counties are now designated as Second Amendment sanctuaries. And our 2A for Today Modern Militiawoman spotlight, that's right, our 2A for Today Modern Militiawoman is an elderly gunslinger from Modesto, California, whose patience was tested during a home invasion where her sharpshooting saved the elderly couple. Welcome to 2A for Today. For Today is a program where we explore all things Second Amendment, all things that protect, threaten, and violate the Second Amendment rights of all Americans. From unconstitutional executive orders and legislation, judicial tyranny and overreach, to how you can get trained and be better prepared to defend yourself, your family, your neighbors, and your rights. So if the Second Amendment's important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine and get on the top daily headlines mailing list so that you get an email alert anytime we upload a video or stream a live event. My name is Zoe, and I'm the host of 2A for Today. Another 4th of July celebration has passed, and it's past time for us to put to death the persistent Second Amendment was meant for muskets myth, once and for all. Every year on 4th of July, there's a stench.
Go down and get my colon cleansed thoroughly.
You want your colon clean? Fine, I'm gonna clean mine. Yeah, nah, my colon is clean. I'm talking squeaky clean.
It overwhelms the nostrils. The effusive petulance of angry leftists whose diarrhea of the mouth soil the airwaves in every social and digital media network. While Americans with common sense spend the day queuing hot dogs and enjoying the sweetness of freshly mown lawns with family in tow, followed by the dense fog of spent gunpowder, splashes of dazzling fireworks displayed across the night sky. The American history-hating mob of Marxists and their misguided missionaries are making every effort to denigrate and taint the celebration of our nation on the date that she came to birth, the day our nation embraced and declared her independence. Even on the Declaration's first anniversary, many citizens of Philadelphia had a spontaneous July 4th celebration. And in 1859, the Benjamin Banneker Institute, named after Benjamin Banneker, an astute black astronomer, surveyor, and abolitionist, urged blacks in America to celebrate Independence Day because of the strength of its moral character. It transcended the practice of slavery and was a document with an ideal that was worthy of praise, an ideal that would enable the creator-given liberty of men to be restored to all Americans. But the myopia of the communists in our midst would look right past the redemptive gift that our founding document represents in order to stare down the sins that we have had generations of men fight and die to atone for. One of the persistent myths that we're going to decimate today is the myth that at the time of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitutional Conventions, that our founders had no conception or could not even fathom the firearm advances that we have today. So the Second Amendment is only good to cover long guns for hunting. Now, that whopper's packed with several misconceptions spewed by our left-brain neighbors. But instead of refuting everyone individually, I'm just going to lay down some of the types of arms that were known about or owned by the early Americans, those that would have been protected by the Second Amendment. Repeating arms, guns that can fire several rounds without a need to reload, were available and in use before the first English colony was established in America. But we're just going to talk about a few that were in development or within reach at the time of the drafting of the Second Amendment. First up, the Kalthoff repeater. This smoothbore musket with 2 or 3 magazines, one for round bullets, one for holding gunpowder, and in some models a third for automatically feeding primer powder, was conceived in the 1600s, with early models holding 6 to 7 shots, later 12, and then even a model that claims a 30-round capacity. It would not be outperformed until well into the 1800s. Second, there's the puckle gun, also known as the defense gun, which was patented by James Puckle in 1718. The puckle gun didn't catch on because of technical issues, but it was able to fire 9 shots per minute. Though slow by the standards of even 100 years ago, the average musketeer could only manage 2 to 5 shots per minute. Lastly, the Girardoni air rifle, made in Austria in 1780. The Girandoni was a repeater that had a 22-round capacity. It was used by the Austrians against Napoleon. The Girandoni was also used by Lewis and Clark in their expedition across the US territories. The expedition boasts that of the 39 men that traveled, they lost none, even after encountering hundreds of threats along the way, thanks to the trusty Girandoni, that air rifle that could fire 22 rounds before needing a reload. There are several others from that era and later that we're not going to discuss today, but these three are enough to dispel the myth created by those who argue that the Founding Fathers could not have anticipated modern weaponry's rate of fire when they wrote the Second Amendment. And to top it off, federal gun regulation came decades after the Second Amendment was penned, and it was passed by circumventing the Second Amendment. Like every other anti-constitutional infringement using illegal enforcement to eclipse our gun liberties, or any of our liberties for that matter. So be sure to introduce your anti-gun friends to these facts as you launch fireworks and celebrate the day that our founders decided to launch musket balls and cannon shot into the faces of tyrants and their sycophants who were trying to disarm them and rob them of their substance. 61% of US counties are now designated as Second Amendment sanctuaries. It's a shame that counties are forced to pass laws affirming that they will uphold the Constitution while their state legislatures and elected federal overseers make it their mission to trespass it. 21 states have passed constitutional carry bills already, but since some state legislatures or their governors are not willing to abide by our compact, elected reps on the county level have chosen to take a stand on behalf of our creator-given right to bear arms and secure our communities. According to an analysis by sanctuarycounties.com, there are now 1,930 counties that are protected by Second Amendment sanctuary legislation at either the state or county level. This represents 61.39% of all the counties in the United States of America. The Biden-Harris regime has caused the movement to accelerate and grow with their gun-grabbing commentary and attempts to install gun control lobbyists like the Waco Wacko over the enforcement arm of the Anti-Constitutional Illegal Gun Infringement Agency, or the ATF for short.
My message to you is this: we'll find you.
You don't have to come and confess. We're looking for you.
We'll find you. We'll find you.
We're gonna find you so you can run and tell that, run and tell that, run and tell that. Homeboy, homeboy.
And our 2A for today, Modern Militiawoman Spotlight, that's right, our 2A for today, Modern Militiawoman is an elderly gunslinger from Modesto, California, whose patience was tested during a home invasion where her sharpshooting saved the elderly couple. Predators generally prey on the vulnerable, or those who they believe do not have the capacity to defend themselves or the will to do what needs to be done. Well, our 2A for today Modern Militiawoman had both the capacity and the will to stop a home invader in their tracks. At around 8 p.m., a woman attempted to break into the elderly couple's home by smashing a sliding glass door with a fire extinguisher.
And that individual was given several warnings to leave the property and continued to try to enter the property.
According to the Stanislaus County Sheriff's report, they armed themselves with a firearm to defend their property and told the woman to keep away.
61 on SS be advised that the RP has armed herself with a .38 caliber.
Our patient 2A for today Modern Militiawoman gave several warnings, and the intruder kept trying to force their way into the house while threatening to kill them. Our hero aimed in on body mass and fired one shot into the home invader's torso.
The RP fired a .38 and responsible ran westbound on the property towards the large shop.
The perpetrator then broke into one of the couple's parked vehicles where police found her having succumbed to her injuries.
We have her in the garage. It appears she's been shot.
Now it's sad when someone forfeits their life the way that home invader did, but it's a great relief and testament to the wisdom of our founders who penned the Second Amendment to protect our right to keep and bear arms for the security of free people. This couple lives in rural California, but police would only have arrived to document the deaths of this elderly couple if they would have waited to depend on law enforcement for protection.
I can only imagine, especially it being an elderly couple in a very rural area, it may take us a little bit longer for law enforcement, for resources to get there, just given where it is in the county.
The task of the police is to enforce the law, not protect the populace. We're the militia, bearing arms, which is necessary for the security of a free state. And our 2A for today Modern Militiawoman exemplified that. That concludes our program for today. But again, in the coming weeks and months, 2A for Today will be talking to experts, scholars, trainers, and all forms of gun right activists and Second Amendment proponents to answer the many questions that we all have and unpack the various laws and trespasses of our rights that have already been enacted and those that are on the horizon. Again, if the Second Amendment is important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine and get on the top daily headlines mailing list so that you get an email alert anytime we upload a video or stream a live event. And share these videos with your family and friends who feel the same, or those that are riding the fence between liberty and tyranny who need a little more convincing. You've been watching 2A for Today. My name is Zoe. Post your comments or questions and we'll try to address as many as we can, as fast as we can in the coming weeks and months. Thank you for watching 2A for Today.